All right, let's get straight to it. This is a Code Ninja security advisory. We are currently tracking an active threat targeting a major software supply chain. Okay, listen up. We have confirmed active in-the-wild exploitation of CVE-2025-15556. I want to be crystal clear. This is not a drill. This isn't some theoretical vulnerability. Threat actors are using this right now as we speak. Immediate action is required. So, what's the target? It's Notepad++, a tool that's probably on millions of machines, used by developers and IT pros everywhere. The attack vector is a hijack of its core update mechanism, a classic supply chain compromise. So here's the breakdown. At its heart, this is a failure of trust. The updater component, WinGUp, simply doesn't check if the update it's downloading is the real deal. There's no cryptographic signature verification. This creates a gaping hole for a man-in-the-middle attack, letting an adversary intercept that update request and feed you a malicious payload instead. And the result? Remote code execution with whatever privileges you're logged in with. We're looking at a CVSS 4.0 base score of 7.7, which puts this squarely in the high severity category. And that score makes sense, right? It reflects the potential for a complete system takeover from something as simple as a routine software update. No other user interaction needed. Our objective with this advisory is simple. We're kickstarting an immediate patching cycle and giving you the actionable intelligence you need to defend your networks. This is coordinated vulnerability disclosure and action. We have to get the word out. Now, before we get into the deep dive on the threat analysis, we need to establish a secure intelligence channel. This is absolutely critical for you to get ongoing updates. First things first, subscribe and make sure you enable all notifications. Think of this as your direct line for real-time threat intel. It's a security necessity in today's environment. Second, go ahead and hit that like button. I want you to treat this as your formal acknowledgement, your ACK, if you will, that you have received this intelligence brief. And finally, drop a comment below with your status. Just 2 words, patched or vulnerable. This is vital. It gives us and the entire community critical situational awareness to help gauge the true blast radius of this campaign. Okay, comms check complete. Let's get into the deep dive. We are attributing this activity to a campaign we're calling Lotus Blossom. So let's talk about the blast radius here. The main impact is, of course, remote code execution. This affects all Windows users running any version of Notepad++ before 8.8.9. We're seeing specific targeting of versions 8.6 through 8.8.8, especially in enterprise networks. And here's the kicker. Even if you have auto updates turned off, you are still vulnerable if you manually trigger that compromised updater. All right, here's your protocol. Consider these your immediate action orders. 1. Update all Notepad++ instances to version 8.8.9 or later. This is not a suggestion. Do it. 2. Fire up your endpoint detection tools and hunt down every single outdated installation. You can't protect what you don't know you have. 3. From this point forward, you must verify all new software downloads against the official SHA-256 hashes from the vendor. And 4. For any federal agencies watching, CISA has put this on their KEV catalog. Your deadline to patch is March 5th, 2026. Compliance is mandatory. Now have a look at this timeline. It really tells a story. The initial breach happened way back in June of 2025. And get this, even after the attackers lost direct server access in September, they were so persistent they just used the credentials they'd already stolen to keep redirecting traffic. The game changed in October when they deployed their custom Chrysalis backdoor. That's a serious escalation. The patch was released on December 9th, but it took until February 12th for CISA to officially add it to the KEV catalog. That gap, that's the danger zone right there. So who's behind this? We assess with moderate confidence that the operator is Lotus Blossom. This is a known APT group aligned with the Chinese state. Their MO is typically espionage, which fits perfectly with the targeted, patient nature of this particular supply chain attack. These are not script kiddies, they are well-resourced professionals. Okay, and this is where it gets really clever. The threat actor was incredibly adaptive. Look at the infection chains. They started in July using a side-loading technique to deliver a Cobalt strike beacon. Pretty standard stuff. But by September, they'd already pivoted to using Lua script injection, probably to get around initial detection signatures. And then in October, they leveled up again, deploying their own custom Chrysalis backdoor. This evolution shows a thinking adversary. They adapt, they overcome, and they persist. This brings us to the debrief. Let's talk about the why behind this public disclosure. This quote from the investigation really says it all. For half a year, these attackers weaponized the very thing designed to keep users secure. This wasn't a flaw in the Notepad++ source code itself. It was a compromise of the delivery pipeline. When trust itself becomes the attack vector, keeping quiet is not an option. And that gets to the core of what we do. Full, coordinated disclosure like this, it forces a vendor response. But more importantly, it arms you, the defender, with the critical information you need to actually protect your systems. Without this alert, millions of users would remain vulnerable, completely blind to the risk hiding in a process they do every single day. Okay, briefing complete. You have the intelligence. Review the protocol, apply the patch, and hunt for any indicators of compromise in your environment. Stay secure.